In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the information on pages Word 60 and 61, which is working with indents. When you indent a paragraph, you move its edge in from the left or right margin. You can indent the entire left or right edge of a paragraph, just the first line, or all lines except the first line. The indent markers on the horizontal ruler indicate the indent settings for the paragraph in which the insertion point is located. Dragging an indent marker to a new location on the ruler is one way to change the indentation of a paragraph. Changing the indent settings in the paragraph group on the Page Layout tab is another way of doing that. And using the indent buttons in the paragraph group on the Home tab is a third. Now we will be taking a look also on page Word 61 on table C2, which talks about the different types of indents. And of course we see that first of all we have the left indent, and that is this little box that is underneath here. And that is used to create, and you can drag this left indent marker on the ruler to the right to position where you want the left edge of the paragraph to align. When you drag the left indent marker, all of the indent markers will move at once. Now the second one on here, which is the up pointing arrow, this is the right indent. And this is the right edge of the paragraph is moved in from the right margin on there. And of course that is actually located over here. And of course you drag this right indent marker on the ruler to the left to position where you want the right edge of the paragraph to align. Then next we have the first line indent, which is this right up here. And of course the first line indent marker on there, you can actually go through and drag this to wherever you want the first line of the paragraph to begin, or activate the first line indent marker in the tab indicator, and then click on the ruler where you want the first line of the paragraph to begin. So if you remember us clicking on the tab indicator over here in the previous video, you can see that we can click on this and indent our first line just by clicking on our ruler. There's also here on the left hand side, this is what we call the hanging indent, and this is used to you can drag this to the right to the position where you want the hanging indent to begin, or you can also activate the hanging indent marker, which is here in the tab indicator, and click the ruler at the position where you want the second and remaining lines of the paragraph to begin. When you drag the hanging indent marker to the left, the indent marker moves with it. And then of course there's also a negative indent marker as well. And of course that is where you can drag the left indent marker, which is still this one right here. You can drag this to the left to the position where you want the negative indent to begin. And when you drag the left indent marker, all the markers is going to move at once. So you'll have to experiment using these different types of indents to change how your paragraph is lined up and how it's indented. In step 1 on page Word 60, it tells us to press our Control and Home key to get to the top of the document. And then it tells us to place the insertion point in the italicized paragraph under the title. Once we have our insertion point in this paragraph here, it tells us that we want to click the Increase Indent button in the paragraph group on the Home tab. So here's our paragraph group, and we have these two buttons right up here. There's our Increase Indent, which is the one we're going to click. And we also have a decrease indent as well. So if we click on the increase indent, you'll now notice that the indent markers have moved to the ½ inch mark on there, and the entire paragraph has been indented 1/2 inch from the left margin. The indent marker also moves to the ½ inch mark on the horizontal ruler. Each time you click on the increase indent button, the left edge of the paragraph moves another ½ inch to the right. Now, a quick tip as well, you can press the Tab key at the beginning of a paragraph to indent the first line to 1/2 inch. On step 2, it tells us that we want to click on the Decrease Indent button, which is right up here, directly to the left of the button we clicked before. And what that does is that will move the left edge of the paragraph, moves over 1/2 inch to the left, and the indent marker moves back to the left margin. On step 3, it tells us that we want to drag the first line indent marker to the 1/4 inch marker on the horizontal ruler. And once again, the first line indent is the down pointing arrow on the left hand side. If we click on this and drag this to the 1/4 inch mark here, and then release our mouse button, the first line of the paragraph has now been indented 1/4 inch. Now dragging the first line indent marker indents only the first line of a paragraph. You'll notice the remaining lines are still aligned up with the left margin. Now of course take care to drag only the first line indent marker. If you make a mistake, don't forget about the undo button to undo your last action. Step 4 tells us that we want to scroll to the bottom of page 1 and then place the insertion point in the quotation. And that is this quotation right here. It's underneath the Camel Safari subheading on here. Once we have that, we're going to click on the Page Layout tab, and then we're going to click on the left indent text box, which is right over here in the paragraph group. When we click on this right here, we are then going to type in 0.5. So this is going to move this indentation over 0.5 of an inch or half an inch. Then we're going to click on the indent right text box here, and we're going to type in 0.5 and press enter. Now in this case, the left and right edges of the paragraph are indented 1/2 inch from the margins, as you can see right here. Step 5 tells us that we want to press our Control Home to go back up to the top of the document, and we're going to place our insertion point back in the italicized paragraph. Then we're going to click on the launcher in the paragraph group, and then next, while we're here, we're going to go through and we're going to click on the special list arrow. So here underneath the indentions section of this, we're going to click on this list arrow here, and we're going to select None. So that's going to remove the first line indentation that we set previously. Once we have that, we're going to click on OK, and now the first line indent has been removed from the paragraph. Then go ahead and save your changes to your document. Now of course as well, we can apply text effects and we can clear formatting in Word as well. And if you look at the little yellow section on the bottom of page Word 60, this is where we'll be getting this information from. And it tells us that the Word Text Effects and Typography feature allows you to add visual appeal to your documents by adding special text effects to text, which includes outlines, shadows, reflections, and glows. The feature also includes a gallery of pre-formatted combination text effect styles called word art. You can apply your text to format it quickly and easily. And to apply a word art style or text effect to text, you simply select the text, then click the Text Effects and Typography button in the Font group on the Home tab, and then select a word art style from the gallery or point to a type of text effect such as the reflection or shadow to open a gallery of styles related to the type of text effect. Experimenting with combining text effect styles gives your text a striking appearance. So once again, if you were wanting to change some text, all you would have to do is to select it, and then we can go to our Home tab on there, and then our font group here, we can easily click on the Text Effects and Typography button on here. We can click on this list arrow here, and of course this would allow us to change that text into some word art, or we can add in different colors and outlines, shadows, reflections, glows, and so forth. We're not going to make any changes to this text right here. We just want to show you about that. Now, of course, if you're unhappy with the way that your text is formatted, you can use the Clear All Formatting command to return the text to its default format settings. And the default format includes font, paragraph formatting, and of course the text will be formatted in 11-point Calibri, and paragraphs are going to be left aligned with a 1.15 point line spacing, with 10 points of space after and no indents. Now to clear the formatting from text and return it to the default format, you select the text you want to clear, and then click the Clear All Formatting button in the Font group on the Home tab. And of course that button is right up in here, and we see that there's the Clear All Formatting. We're not going to click on that because that would clear our formatting. Now, if you prefer to return the text to the default font, and remove all paragraph formatting, making the text 11-point Calibri, left aligned, single space with no paragraph spacing or indents, you select the text and then simply click the No Spacing button in the Styles group on the Home tab. And actually that is the preferred method of us here in the business department in which typing letters, because generally there's been a change in from keeping things single spaced to adding a little bit more spacing. So most of the time, especially if you're working with FBLA or any other professional document, you probably want to leave on no spacing to begin with. Now once again, make sure that you do save your document, and we're ready to move on to the next video, which we're going to be talking about adding bullets and numbering.